Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another reacting to influencers in real life. I had so many requests to include Mathilde and Isabelle in a video, so here we are. So who is Mathilde Tantot? Mathilde Tantot is an identical twin. She also has a twin sister called Pauline who has, I think, 5 million followers on Instagram. So these twins are absolutely huge on Instagram. Their influence is like 15 million people. That's crazy. A huge thank you to Coinsplash for sponsoring today's video. You know those days where you just need to switch off and tune out and have a bit of lighthearted entertainment? Well, that's where Coinsplash comes in. Coinsplash is a game where you spin the wheels to try and gather coins to build your village. But it's not that simple. You can attack or hack other people's villages or spin the wheel to gather more coins. Other players can try to attack your village too, which is quite cheeky, but you can then take revenge on them by attacking their village too if they don't manage to block your attack. Coinsplash is lighthearted fun, perfect for those evenings you just want to chill out and a TV or book just isn't cutting it. I'll pop the link to download and play in the description box down below. So Mathilde Tantot is a French-Persian social media influencer, a model, and she co-owns with her twin sister the swimwear brand Kasani Swimwear. So let's start with Mathilde, considering she is the bigger influencer out of her and Isabelle, with Mathilde having over 10 million followers on Instagram. If you flip open your phone and scroll through Mathilde's Instagram, you will be greeted with hundreds of images where it genuinely looks like Mathilde may be a freak of nature whose waist is genuinely smaller than her nose. Just kidding, but to be fair, it does seem as though Mathilde goes to great efforts to make her belly and waist area look as small as humanly possible in her pictures. Except that it's not humanly possible. And furthermore, Mathilde's waist and stomach area doesn't even actually look like these pictures in real life from the real life unposed pictures that I have seen on Google. So here is Mathilde on Instagram and here is Mathilde in real life. Now Mathilde, like I said, is an identical twin with her sister Pauline, who is also an influencer. So I've done my best to make sure that in these photos they are in fact of Mathilde and not Pauline, but please correct me if I'm wrong. So here is Mathilde at an event, and let's be real guys, she's absolutely gorgeous. She is so pretty, but if you compare this picture where you can clearly see her waist, because again she's got it on show and good for her, she's proud of her body, so she should be, and also let's be fair, in real life she clearly does have a flat stomach and a small waist. However, if you compare this real life picture, which was obviously taken by a professional photographer at an event, and Mathilde obviously therefore hasn't been in control of the picture, so she's not edited it or, contorted her body in any weird way. If you compare her human form to her Instagram form, it is very different. Please note that her arms look the same size in both these images, and so does her head. So both her arms and her head is the same size. It's just that her belly and her waist is shrunken in the Instagram pictures. This is what I don't understand. Women who are literally babes, why are they then feeling the need to alter and change their bodies through editing? I'm not saying that's what Mathilde is doing, but just in general. Why do these women who are already, by society standards, literally stunning, why do they feel the need that they have to also alter their bodies and their faces? It's just crazy. Okay, so then there is this picture of Mathilde. I think this is Mathilde, hopefully this is Mathilde, and this is Pauline. I'm pretty sure I've got them correct. This is a picture that was professionally taken for Gooseberry Intimates. So again, because this photo is not being taken by Mathilde and Pauline, the girls aren't in control of this picture, and they certainly aren't going to be editing the picture, which I think is why in this picture Mathilde's belly area looks so different to her Instagram. So again, I wanted to just compare to show you guys what I mean, why you shouldn't actually believe the bodies that you see on Instagram, because for every single influencer that I've ever looked into for this whole series of videos, not one person has looked the same as their Instagram in real life, because it's not really possible. So I know these two poses aren't exactly the same, but they're fairly similar. And again, Mathilde's Instagram waist and belly is so ridiculously small compared to her real life waist and her unedited belly. Then there is this side view picture that I managed to find of Mathilde minding her own business, walking down the street. And here again is Instagram Mathilde. Do you guys notice anything different here? Again, she's got the same size arms, the same size head, but two totally different sized waists. Why? And again, because I'm petty like that, when you compare Instagram pictures to real life pictures, you could pretty much literally fit 1.5 versions of Mathilde's Instagram waist into her real life waist. And let's be real, in real life, she already has a very small waist. Like, she appears to be very, very, very petite. Why are we like this? Now, for all intents and purposes, I applaud Mathilde because she's obviously made a living for herself on social media. Good for her. I appreciate the hustle, and I appreciate that her and her sister have made the skincare brand. And to be fair, she probably is a really lovely person in real life. However, in saying that, one thing that I find a little bit odd, a little bit off-putting about Mathilde's Instagram presence is that she allegedly uploaded this video to her Instagram. Now, I believe this is Mathilde. That is what I found online, but again, please correct me if I'm wrong. If this is Mathilde, which I have been told it is, in this video, she is blatantly showing off how tiny her waist is. Like, she's literally pulling up her singlet and wearing low-cut shorts in order to have her belly and her waist area like right up front center of the camera. Yet she has captioned the video, "Just be you and love yourself, please." Like, what? I am not getting the correlation here. I don't know if Mathilde is aware of how many women suffer with eating disorders and would look at content like that and be super, super triggered. And yet she's chosen to use an up-close image of her ridiculously small waist in a video, moving it around and telling other women to love themselves. Like, I love the message, and I don't see anything wrong with her waist if that's what it genuinely looks like in real life. Like, people are that shape in real life, but the two of them together, I'm confused. To be honest, when I was researching Mathilde for this video, to me, she seems really, really preoccupied with her body and especially her like stomach and waist area, because allegedly Mathilde posted these two images to her social media, which kind of reads to me like a before and after picture. I don't know. It's a very strange sequence of pictures where in the first one, she's kind of musing about how she used to be able to eat anything she wanted, without getting fat, and that she had never worked out in her life. And then in picture 2, which to me seems as though she's kind of like insinuating that that is an after picture. I don't know, I could be reading this totally wrong. But in the second picture, again, she's got her tiny little waist point blank center of the screen, saying how she has now stopped eating fast food and now works out. It makes me wonder whether Mathilde suffers with obsessive thoughts about her body, and whether Mathilde has actually become a victim of social media and these unrealistic body and beauty standards herself. Because in my eyes, to me, those two pictures, like her belly and her waist, look the same to me. Okay, moving on to the beautiful Isabelle Mathers. She is an Australian model and influencer. She has 1.7 million followers on her Instagram, which again is huge. And Isabelle is also like a sister pairing on Instagram. There's like a running theme in this video. So Mathilde and Pauline are identical twins. I thought Isabelle and her sister were identical twins, but they're not. They're just sisters, but they are both absolutely stunning. So as you guys can see, from her Instagram pictures, Isabelle is super slim and I think pretty tall in real life, and she is stunningly beautiful. However, the way she looks on Instagram isn't always the way she looks in real life. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I know a lot of people requested me to do a video on Isabelle, but when I was looking through her Instagram, I genuinely don't think that she edits her pictures all that much, if at all. What I do think is that because she is a professional model, and I believe she has been for some time, she obviously knows her angles. She knows how to contort and angle and pose her body in a way that it's going to look amazing in pictures. So let's take a look at some real life pictures of beautiful Isabelle. So here is Isabelle at the Sabo skirt opening event, and she looks absolutely gorgeous. But as you can see, her waist from side on doesn't look quite as tiny as it does on Instagram. So she may have been breathing out. She may simply not be sucking in. She's obviously just not posing as hectically as she does on Instagram. But it just shows you guys what you see on Instagram may be what an influencer looks like for that split second in time, but nobody can hold such an uncomfortable pose for any length of time. Here is a posed professional picture. So admittedly, it's not a real life unposed paparazzi picture, but I still think it demonstrates the difference posing and angles can make to the way your body looks. So when Isabelle is sat down and she's not in a position where she is literally stretching her torso out, it doesn't look quite as long and it doesn't look quite as tiny. Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, you know what? It is what it is.
And then there's this picture, which I actually really like because it demonstrates a point that I made in, I made a whole video about it. Why you have a belly but influencers don't. I'll put a card to it here. I'll link it in the description box down below if I remember. So unlike on Instagram, in photos where Isabelle isn't in control, so she's in this picture modeling for someone else, you can see that she has, even though she is so slim, like she is really, really slim and her waist is really, really flat, she still has that like bump of fat on her lower belly. And I know I'm going to have people like, oh my God, how dare you mention the word fat or like a bump on her belly.
Being so negative.
But you guys, there is nothing mean and there's nothing shameful about having fat on your belly. That is the epitome of society's unrealistic beauty standards talking. That bit of lower belly fat that even people who are super tall, super thin, have super flat stomachs, pretty much we all have, it's not a bad thing. In fact, it's a very, very good thing because that bit of lower belly fat is meant to be there because it literally protects your reproductive organs. So if you think about it, your heart and your lungs, they're really important, right? So we've got a rib cage, like literally a rib cage made of strong, tough bone to protect those organs. But you know what's also really important if you're a woman? Your reproductive organs. You need them for your hormones. You need them if you want to have babies. And yet we don't have any bones protecting them. They don't have their own rib cage. But do you know what they do have? They have a little layer of fat on your lower belly and that cushions them. So please guys, don't kill yourself at the gym trying to exercise away that bit of protective lower belly fat. It is there for a reason. So whilst we're on the subject of being super slim and having a bit of belly fat at the same time, which is totally normal, as you guys can see, when Isabelle, who is super beautiful and is a literal professional model and influencer, when she sits down, she has rolls. And again, I don't say that like it's a bad thing. There is literally nothing wrong with having rolls when you sit down. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having rolls at all. But basically everybody, when they sit down and relax, are going to have rolls in the belly area. It would be very strange not to. It is our society's current unrealistic standards of beauty that has made us think that having rolls when you sit down and relax is somehow a flaw or something to be ashamed of. And when you actually break it down, that's just crazy. Because you know what our stomachs actually are? They are internal organs, fat, blood, tissue, and skin. So when we sit down and we're not stretching out our stomach areas and our torsos, where is all that gonna go? Okay, you guys, I can see that this video is already 27 minutes long, so yay for me trying to edit this down. I'm gonna leave it here. Let me know in the comments who you want me to do the next video in this series on, because like I said, I don't follow influencers, so I don't really know who you guys follow or who you want to see videos on. So let me know in the comments. I love your guts and I'll see you in my next video.